Hi everyone, Mint Morris here. Welcome to the next installment of our 12 Licks of Christmas. We're taking a look at 12 of my favorite licks of some of my favorite players who have done courses for over the 12 days leading up to Christmas. At this time, I'm also offering a 25% discount on all of my courses and transcription packs. If you get to the end of this lesson and want to learn some more Eldon Shamblin, please take advantage of that coupon code 12days. That's the number 1, 2, and then all caps days to be applied at checkout for 25% off the Eldon Shamblin transcription packs and courses I offer. The links will be in the description below. So we're going to be taking a look at an ending lick that Eldon Shamblin does quite frequently, and it's something that you can expand off of and create your own licks pretty easily from. We'll be looking at the one I did in the opening as well as another one. So the first one is a 2-5 in the key of D. So we're going from the E minor to the A to the D. And we're specifically paying attention to our high string melody note and then our low string bass note and how we can move those chromatically with good voice leading. So if we're at the end of the song, and typically that's a 5 chord resolving into a 1 or a quick 1, 5, 1, this is a great lick to employ. So we're going to be working out of this E minor chord here at our 7th fret. So we've got an E minor with the B in the bass. So if we take a look at our E here on the 5th string, 7th fret, we have E, G, and D, E minor 7. That's 5, 7, 5. And then all we want to do now is just bring our middle finger out to the B. So we have the 5th in the bass. So it's now B, skip over your 5th string, G, D, and then put your pinky down. And you have the high G on our 2nd string. So that's going to be our first chord, the E minor. And this is playing over a 5 chord. This is a 2 minor substitution. So we have the E minor. And then we're going to move our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers down a half step. So we now move the B to B flat, the D to C sharp, and the G to an F sharp. We now have an E flat 7 chord with a sharp 9. So that's the B flat, G, C sharp or D flat, and then our F sharp or G flat, however you want to see that. So we just have this chromatic movement in the high strings and then the low 6th string, and our 4th string is staying the same. And now I'm going to come down and play an A7 chord. So I'm going to move the B flat down to A, keep the G the same, keep the C sharp the same, then I'm going to move my F sharp down to an F. So I have an A7 augmented chord, right? That's a sharp 5 on the 2nd string. And then from there, I'm going to play an A7 with a C sharp in the bass. So I have C sharp, G staying the same, B, and E. So that 2nd string is moving down another half step. So to hear how that sounds with those half step movements, we have E minor 7, E flat 7, A7, A7, and the last thing I did here was I moved the B down to a B flat, A7 flat 9, just to keep that voice leading going. And then I came to my A on the 6th string and played a lick that sounds like this. To resolve on my D. So it's just A flat, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. And there, it's not really an Eldon Shamblin chord, it's kind of a modern sounding chord, but I landed on a D6 with the open string, and then the high open string would be a 9 or a 2. So I've got my D triad, D, F sharp, A on the low 3 strings, and then the 2 color notes on top. So when I put it all together, it's just really nice, smooth, and sophisticated sounding ending. So I've got over the A chord that the rest of the band's playing. They just let it hang, and I'm going to finish off going. So let's take a look at one more lick that's using some of these ideas that we can use within the context of the changes of the song and not necessarily the ending. So again, if we're using the 5 chord as an example, and we're setting up a 2 minor to be imposed on top of it, we can have a lick that will sound like this. So what we're doing here is we're setting up an E minor again. This time I'm not playing the G on the high string, I'm playing actually the E. So I'm repositioning my fingers and playing B, G, D, E, and barring there with my first finger. From there, I'm going to play a B flat, an A flat, a D, and an E. So I've got a B flat 7 chord here with the E on top, so like a B flat 7 flat 5. Okay. Then from there, I'm going to move into my A7 that we did from the last example with the C sharp in the bass, and then I'm going to move this up to the E note and play an A7 with the E in the bass, and I'm going to have a flat 9 here on the 4th string, that's the B flat. And I've got a D on the 3rd string, but I'm going to quickly move that D down to the C sharp so I can get that full A7 chord in there. So it's just a quick kind of color tone resolve down into the 3rd of the chord. So I've got this E minor, B flat 7 with the flat 5, and I've got the A7 with the 9 and the 3rd in the bass up to the 5th in the bass with the flat 9 and the 4th, and then I'm going to drop the 4th down to the 3rd, and then resolve down to this D6-9 here at the 5th, 4th, 4th, and 5th fret starting on our 5th string. So again, we can just see this simple chromatic movement that whenever you're trying to get into the style of Eldon Shamblin, that's the thing we need to focus on the most. The chromatic movement in the bass and the chromatic movement in the high melody notes. And don't over-conceptualize or theorize kind of what's going on here. Just use your ear and use the shapes you know and see if you can connect shape to shape, making these small little movements. So one more time, we've got E minor, B flat 7, A7, D6-9. Again, if you're interested in learning more Eldon Shamblin, check out my 2 full-length courses on his rhythm guitar style as well as my transcription pack. Use the code 12days for 25% off now through Christmas, and the links will be in the description below. I'll see you in the next lessons. Thank you.